Good afternoon, everyone, and good evening. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm your host, Ross World, and today we'll be discussing what is the difference between a 401k as well as versus Roth IRA. But we will be discussing also a 403b and also a 457b. We'll just be mentioning those already mentioned. So we will do a pretty much a deep dive with the huge differences are between the two. Now, I'm getting my notes together here, so bear with me. But like anything else, I have a small definition. My definitions and my explanations and some of the work is coming from Investor Junkie, Money Giant, and Investopedia. So those are my three sources that I researched this information and compiled it all together. So, what is a 401k? It's a retirement savings plan that many employers offer. You can invest a percentage of your pay or a particular amount each month, and you make investments with pre-tax money, meaning that whatever you invest is taken out of your paycheck before your income tax. So essentially, with a 401k, the money that's being invested is pre-taxed. I think I actually got that wrong. Yeah, your money is not being taxed when you have a 401k. The money is being pre-tax, or the tax money is being taken out when you have a Roth IRA. Okay, so when it comes to a 401k, a 403b, and a 457b, 401k are like your corporation. They mostly offer that, and they also have match contributions. Okay, good afternoon, Miss Curly Girl. Thanks for joining us today. All right, but a 403b is similar to a 401k for tax exempt organizations like public schools, hospitals, and religious groups. So those particular sectors, right, like nurses, doctors, a lot of them actually deal in 403bs. Okay, unless they're a public hospital, like your Southeast General or your Southeast Community Hospital that is somewhat funded by the state, and then they can actually fall under a 457b. Now, the 457b plan is offered by state and local governments and some nonprofits. So there's a lot of information within those two. I might do a video that explains 403bs as well as 457bs, but today we'll be discussing 401ks as well as Roth IRA. Okay. So I'm still compiling some of my notes. Please excuse me. Because we're going to get into the advantages of a 401k as well a Roth IRA, because a lot of us don't work for an organization that actually offers a 401k. Okay, some organizations like the federal government, they mostly deal in TSP, but they also match contributions because the construct of a TSP is modeled after a 401k. So essentially, if you're doing TSP, you have a 401k, if you understand what I'm getting at. Right, I'm almost done here, guys. So please bear with me again. My apologies. All right. Now, some of the advantages of a 401k. What's going on, Power Nation? Something good about money. I can use some new tips. No problem. We're talking about 401k versus Roth IRA. All right, here we go. So the advantages of a 401k, again, they can match your contributions up to a certain point when you're working with an organization that actually offers a 401k. Okay. Now, here's a cool thing about a 401k. So again, we're talking about the advantages of a 401k. Did you know if you're under the age of 50 that you can contribute $19,000 a year in a 401k or 403b or a 457b in most of the plans? And most of the plans, you can actually you can contribute $19,000 a year. Okay. Now, of course, all of that is not going to include your employer matching it. So if your employer matches 5%, and I say, for instance, that 5% is only $250 or $500, you can still allocate up to $19,000, or in that case, $18,500. You get what I'm saying? So for that entire year, you can contribute $19,000 of your money into a 401k, a 403b, and some of the 457 plans. Now, if you are older than the age of 50, okay, if you're older than the age of 50, you can add an additional $6,000, which is a year's total of $25,000. So if you're someone who's over the age of 50 and you're finally making six digits, okay, you're finally making six digits, whether it be for yourself or with an organization, and we'll get into self-employment later. So this is mostly for corporations with the 401ks. You can contribute up to $25,000. And the reason why I say six digits is because I'm thinking of someone, if you make under $50,000 a year, I don't think you're going to contribute $25K a year. That's literally like, you're like a few thousands away before the poverty line, unless you're living with other people and you can do that because you're really trying to catch up, okay? And you're really trying to catch up. So if you're under the age of 50, you can contribute $19,000 a year to your 401k. If you're over the age of 50, you can contribute up to $25,000. Now, employer match. I highly encourage you, if you're going to go with your company's, your organization's 401k, to at least maximize and max out their matching contribution. So again, if they're offering 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever it may be, I want you to at least match it because it's free money. And who don't like free money? I know I like free money. You give me some free money, I'm going to do something with my free money, okay? Now, here's another good one. There's no income level limit. Yes, there is no income level limit when it comes to contributing to a 401k. All right, anyone can invest in their 401k regardless of their income. And why is that important? Because Roth IRAs have an income limit, okay? Roth IRAs have an income limit. Then last but not least, the tax break. When you invest with a 401k plan with pre-tax dollars, you lower your taxable income for the year. What am I talking about? So let's take, for instance, right? And this is how kind of like the government gets you on the backside. Yeah, they're going to get their money regardless if it's now or then. But when you contribute to your 401k and that money is being allocated into a retirement plan, right, which is the 401k, it's going into your 401k retirement plan. It actually, depending on how much you contribute, like $25,000, that will knock you down a few tax brackets, right? Because again, you're doing it with pre-tax dollars. Those dollars are not taxed yet. Pre-tax dollars, okay? The prefix pre, before. Pre-tax dollars, lowering your taxable income for that year. And the reason for that happens because before, it really computes that you made a certain amount of money, your employer is taking that money, right? Your employer is taking that money before they pay you and put that in your 401k plan. So now when your money hits your account and everything is being reported to your taxes, oh no, Roswell didn't make $100,000. He made $75,000 because he did max contribution because he's over the age of 50, or I'm under the age of 50 and I did $19,000, however you want to look at it, okay? However you want to look at it. So $80,000, right? So I made $80,000 instead of $100,000 because I did the $19,000, so $79,000. I'm off $1,000. Anyway, but we're getting to why that's important when we discuss the Roth IRA. Now, what are the disadvantages of a 401k? What are the disadvantages of a 401k? Now, you have few options for mutual funds. Few options. Now, and again, the key term in this were what? Mutual funds. Now, there are some organizations that actually invest in index and ETF, those exchange traded funds, which have very low fees, okay? Those very low expense ratios. Where mutual funds, we talked about mutual funds, and I guess my top entity, my top organization to go with a 401k is America's Best because of the low fees, okay? No hidden fees. And if you guys go out and read Tony Robbins' Unshakable, he goes and talks to all of the big investors in the game about all the hidden fees. I did have a sheet up here about the hidden fees. I'm gonna have to look for that for you guys. But I saved the webpage. They kind of they kind of killed the nanny on that one, so you guys know exactly what are the hidden fees. I really want to show you here. Let me see. Here I am again, trying to do stuff on the fly. I can't do it. Anyway, now your employer hires a third party when it comes to the limited mutual fund options. Your employer hires a third party administrator to run the company's retirement plan. Okay, take for instance a company like Walmart, a company like Amazon, a company like Google. I'm naming large corporations. They may hire someone like Vanguard or Fidelity or Charles Schwab or Merrill Lynch or E-Trade, etc., right, to handle their 401k accounts, right? And what that simply means that administrator determines which mutual funds you can invest in, which actually limits your options because you don't have a choice. They're doing it for you because those organizations are going to your corporation, your business, and saying, we're going to do the best for your employers when it comes to your 401k. Because here at Vanguard, here at Merrill Lynch, here at Charles Schwab, here at Fidelity, here at US Bank, we're going to maximize their profit and yours. Because again, even with 401ks, they have kickbacks. We talked about that. So that could be minimizing your returns, but nonetheless, you can still make good money with 401ks. Okay. I just had to throw that nugget in there. And they're going to go through them and say, we're going to maximize your profits. We're going to make sure your employers are getting the best possible mutual funds, index funds, ETFs. But you, as the person who is investing in a 401k, because of the third party, you can't go to your finance office. You can't go to your human resource office. Okay. And you can't say, well, I don't like the funds that we're currently in. Can I change mine? They're like, well, no, it's handled by a third party. And there's really no options for you to intervene unless you just want to stop your 401k and take your money elsewhere. Right. But then if you take your money elsewhere, guess what you lose? Those matching contributions that organization is actually giving you. And that's free money. And we love free money. And some of you may say, well, ain't nothing in life is free. There's no free money. This is free because they don't have to do it, but they did it. Another thing, when you working for an organization, they may have a waiting period for you to invest in that 401k, right? It's almost like your probationary term, right? Okay, you can invest in a 401k, but you'll have to wait 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I've never seen nothing over 90 days when it comes to corporations or organizations of you investing in a 401k with matching contributions. But usually, and sometimes rather, they have 30, 60, and 90 days of a probationary term or period that you have to wait before you can invest. All right. Now you have what they call your RMDs, your required minimum distributions. See, you can't leave your money in a 401k forever like you can a Roth IRA. Now, at the beginning age of 70 and a half, you must start withdrawing from your 401k. And I'm going to tell you why that's very important. Now, hopefully we'll all live to be 80 plus, okay? My age always used to be 77. I at least want to be 77 because I still want to talk trash when I'm 77. I want to tell them young whippersnappers what I really think about them at 77. But hopefully we all live to be 80 plus, okay? Now, you must take out your money at 70 and a half. You must start withdrawing a certain amount of it, or you will pay a penalty. And depending on the entity, the penalty could be steep. All right, there are penalties for withdrawing your money before the age of 59 and a half. And then there is a fee for you to take out because this money is pre-tax dollars. Uncle Sam wants their share. See, and that's why they only let you keep that money in there for about, 11 years? So 67, no, I'm sorry, for 70 years. 59 and a half, you can't take out any money before 59 and a half or they will penalize you. You can't keep no money, you can't keep your money in there after 70 and a half without start a withdrawal each month without being penalized. Because Uncle Sam, the federal government, the U.S. government want their money. Again, these are pre-tax dollars that go in your 401k. Now, when you start to take your money out of your 401k, what happens? They tax you. See, they want their money. You can only go so long without paying taxes on a 401k. They will tax you. It's not a big deal. Everybody does it. You got a 401k. And believe me, I'm trying to find some loopholes. And your boy good at finding loopholes. I'm reading tax codes. I'm like, what if I buy a Winnebago and travel down to Eastport? What if I give to charity? Nah, man. They want this money from these 401ks, right? Because essentially your money is growing tax-free. But anytime you make any sort of money in America, right, and it's producing earnings, and you're gaining interest or dividends, the federal government want their share, because you wouldn't be that profitable if you wasn't living in America. You wouldn't. You have to take care of the roads, the towns, the store. See, your tax dollars are used for a trillion things. I mean, your tax dollars is taking care of corruption, but it's also taking care of your local fire department. So if your house burns up, they can come in an hour, and then your insurance can pay you back. I'm kidding, guys. All right. What is a Roth IRA? Okay, so a Roth IRA is an individual retirement arrangement, okay, or account. It is a retirement savings account you can open yourself, okay? Unlike a 401k, you can contribute to a Roth IRA with after-tax money. If you ever hear me speaking, I always tell people go into a Roth IRA. There's two exceptions, and I'll talk about that later. There are two exceptions why you may not want to go into a Roth IRA and why you can't go into a Roth IRA. So when you contribute to a Roth IRA, let me give you some examples here. Some people just love visuals, right? So here's the money that I am contributing to my Roth IRA. So let's say I put $300 in my Roth IRA. Well, the federal government taking their money off the top. So that's the federal government, Roth IRA, okay? Roth IRA, federal government, okay? So they're getting their money off the tippity top. Why is that important? Because now the money you see in your Roth IRA account is the money you can withdraw tax-free later on. Now, I'm going to briefly explain traditional. If you have your $400, well, I have $500 going into your traditional, all that money is like the 401k and goes into your account, okay? It goes into your account. But when you start to take out that money after 59 and a half, that is when Uncle Sam takes their money. Now, if you see, I put 500 in and I'm taking 200 to give to the U.S. government. Now I'm only receiving 300. Now with a Roth IRA, depending on how taxes are done that year, you could be trying to put in 500, but since it's after tax, the federal government only may take 100. Why is that important? Again, later on, taxes only rise in time. They may do some sort of tax legislation where for a moment or a year or a time period, it's never forever, right? Because taxes is kind of like the stock market. They fluctuate up and down. So when you're taking out your money, you're 59 and a half, you're 60, you're 65, they're taking now 200. Whereas if you got it after tax with your Roth IRA, they call it only taking 100. Again, taxes rise every year. You look at places like DC and where I'm at in Washington State, their taxes are like 10%. Their sales tax are like 10%. Even southern places like Texas, 8.25%. So they're rising every year. So I always tell people you should go into a Roth IRA because of tax reasons, because the money you see growing your Roth IRA is the money that you will receive when you withdraw it after 59 and a half. Now, there are two exceptions about the traditional one, which are after tax, like the 401k, that we will get into later. Okay. So let's get into, and again, Roth IRAs are also good for people who are self-employed. They have a lot of SCP IRAs, okay? And I believe some of the entities that have those, I named a few. I know that America's Best. Oh no, not them, not them. I know Stash has an SCP IRAs. You know what? Let's just search for it real quick. I did a video. I can't remember all this stuff, guys. SCP IRAs. Let's see here. I named a few during a video one time. And so the SCP IRAs this is a whole different video, because the pros with this is that you can contribute up to 57,000 in 2020. This year it went up 1,000. Last year you contribute 56,000 in a SCP IRA, okay? But the cons are there's no catch-up contribution for savers of 50 and older because you're self-employed, right? Also, it can be combined with a traditional IRA or Roth IRA, because think about it like this: if you work for an organization and you are a entrepreneur, then you can have both. All right, it says contributions are tax deductible, including those made to employee accounts. You can deduct the lesser of your contribution of 25% of compensation, subject to the compensation cap of $285,000 in 2020, and $280,000 in 2019. If you are self-employed, your deduction is 25% of net self-employed income. So now, very briefly, I'm going off topic here. We're going to go who offer SCP IRA, so I can give some of you guys where to go in case you want to open up a simplified employee pension, okay? A simplified employee pension. But if you just do a quick Google search, you can look for this too, right? All right, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna move on. I want to stay on topic today. You know, I go down that rabbit hole of information and I won't stop. Okay, let's go over the advantages of the Roth IRA. Miss Curly Girl says, have you shared this live? If not, it's not too late. Spread the love by sharing this live. Someone can use the valuable information. Thank you, Miss Curly Girl. I appreciate that. All right, the advantages of a Roth IRA. Tax-free growth. Tax-free growth. Again, the money that you are contributing, the amount that you are